The Bible you were taught may be missing entire books. Books that could reshape how we understand human history. Hidden for over 17 centuries in the mountains of Ethiopia, guarded by monks who would rather die than surrender it, lies a Bible older than most Christian traditions themselves. A Bible that still contains books the rest of the world removed centuries ago. Books that speak of fallen angels walking the earth, of a royal bloodline tied to the Ark of the Covenant, and prophecies many believe point to the end of days. This is not myth. This is not legend. This is the ancient Ethiopian Bible. And once you open its pages, you may never see Christianity the same way again. For centuries, the history of the Bible has been told from one perspective, a story shaped largely by Europe, preserved in Latin, translated into English, and spread across the world. But far from Rome, far from the power struggles of the Western Church, another version of the Bible was being preserved, not rewritten, not reduced, but kept whole. In the highlands of Ethiopia, one of the oldest Christian civilizations on earth protected a collection of sacred texts unlike any other. A Bible containing 81 books, more than any other Christian tradition in existence today. This is the Bible of the Ethiopian Orthodox Tewahedo Church, a church that traces its roots back nearly 2,000 years. But how did this Bible survive, while others were edited, debated, and reduced? To understand that, we must go back to the beginning. Long before Christianity spread across Europe, it had already taken root in Africa, in the powerful Kingdom of Aksum, located in present-day Ethiopia and Eritrea. Christianity became a state religion in the 4th century. Its ruler, King Ezana of Aksum, embraced the faith at a time when much of Europe was still pagan. This was not a borrowed religion. It was adopted, preserved, and practiced independently. And unlike the churches of the Roman world, Aksum developed its own identity, its own language, its own traditions, and its own scriptures. Those scriptures were written in Gizi's language, a sacred language that would carry these texts across centuries untouched. Today, most Christians are familiar with a Bible containing 66 or 73 books. But the Ethiopian Bible contains 81. Among them are texts that many people have never even heard of. Books that were once known, once read, but eventually removed from most traditions. Not because they were fake, but because history chose a different path. These include the Book of Enoch, the Book of Jubilees, and other ancient writings preserved only in Ethiopia. These texts offer a deeper, and sometimes more mysterious, look into early biblical thought, long before the rise of kingdoms, before empires were built. There are ancient texts that describe a world, very different from our own. According to the Book of Enoch, a group of angels known as the Watchers were sent to observe humanity. But something went wrong. Instead of watching, they descended. They took human wives. They shared forbidden knowledge. And in doing so, they broke divine order. From these unions came beings described as giants, often referred to as the Nephilim, not just larger in size, but overwhelming in presence. The text describes a world where these beings consumed resources at an unnatural scale, stripping the land, disrupting balance, and bringing violence among humans. But their greatest impact wasn't just physical, it was knowledge. The Watchers are said to have taught humanity things that were never meant to be revealed so early. Advanced weapon making, warfare strategies, astrology and celestial secret, manipulation of metals and tools, knowledge that accelerated human civilization, but also intensified human conflict. In this telling, the problem was not knowledge itself, but timing and misuse. Humanity, now exposed to power it could not yet control, began to change. Violence increased, corruption spread, and the world, according to the text, fell into chaos. The response, as described in the text, was severe. The Watchers were judged, bound, and cast into a state of confinement, not destroyed, but imprisoned. The giants, however, met a different fate. Their physical forms were wiped out, But their story doesn't end there. Some interpretations suggest that their spirits remained, becoming what later traditions would describe as restless or wandering forces. Whether taken as literal history, symbolic warning, or theological reflection, the story raises a powerful idea. That unchecked power and knowledge can reshape the world, but not always for the better. And within the Ethiopian Bible, this story was never removed. It was preserved. So why were these books removed from most Bibles? The answer lies in centuries of religious debate and church councils. During the early centuries of Christianity, church leaders gathered to decide which book should be considered official scripture. One of the most influential gatherings was the Council of Nicaea. While this council did not finalize the Bible itself, it marked the beginning of intense debates about theology and scripture. Over time, different Christian traditions began to form their own biblical canons. Western Christianity, influenced by the Roman Empire, eventually settled on a smaller set of books. But Ethiopia, largely isolated from European theological politics, kept many of the older texts that other churches abandoned. This isolation allowed the Ethiopian Church to preserve a much older tradition of biblical literature. One of the greatest treasures of Ethiopian Christianity is a manuscript known as the Garima Gospels. These ancient manuscripts are believed to date back to around the 5th or 6th century. That makes them among the oldest surviving illustrated Christian manuscripts in the world. The Garima Gospels are kept in the Abba Garima Monastery, where monks have preserved them for over 1,000 years. The pages contain beautifully painted illustrations and texts written in Gizi's language. Some historians believe they may even predate many famous European manuscripts. Ethiopia's deep connection to biblical history goes even further. According to Ethiopian tradition recorded in the Kebra Nagast, the Ark of the Covenant, the sacred chest that held the 10 Commandments, was brought to Ethiopia thousands of years ago. The story claims it was carried by Menelik, the son of King Solomon, and the Queen of Sheba. Today, many Ethiopians believe the Ark is kept inside the Church of Our Lady Mary of Zion. Although no outsider has been allowed to see it, the belief remains central to Ethiopian Christian identity. The Ethiopian Bible is more than just a religious text. It is a powerful reminder that Africa played a major role in preserving ancient Christianity. For centuries, Ethiopian monks carefully copied manuscripts by hand. They preserved scriptures that might otherwise have been lost forever. Without their work, texts like the Book of Enoch might have disappeared completely. Today, scholars around the world study the Ethiopian Bible to better understand early Christianity, ancient Jewish traditions, the development of biblical scripture. It offers a rare window into how the Bible evolved across different cultures and regions. For over 1,600 years, the Ethiopian Church has protected one of the most unique versions of the Bible on earth. A Bible with 81 books, a Bible written in an ancient language, and a Bible that preserved texts lost to much of the world. The story of the Ethiopian Bible challenges many assumptions about Christian history. It reminds us that Christianity has never belonged to one culture, one region, or one people. From the mountains of Ethiopia to the ancient Kingdom of Aksum, Africa has played a profound role in shaping and preserving the Christian faith, and the Ethiopian Bible remains one of the most powerful pieces of that history. If you found this documentary informative, support the channel by liking, commenting, and sharing it with others. And don't forget to subscribe for more historical documentaries exploring Africa's hidden history and the diaspora.